Have you ever looked at someone's smile and felt like they were hiding 1,000 secrets? Or stared into a pair of eyes and wondered what they were thinking? What if I told you that the most famous smile in history doesn't belong to a queen, a goddess, or a Hollywood star, but to a quiet Florentine woman whose portrait changed the world? This is the story of Mona Lisa, a woman whose half-smile has captivated minds for over 500 years and still refuses to give up her secrets. To understand her, we need to step into the world of 16th century Florence, Italia city overflowing with beauty, knowledge, and invention. It was the height of the Renaissance, a time when art and science merged to form something eternal. In this world lived a woman named Lisa Gherardini, born into a respected Florentine family. She led a quiet life as the wife of Francesco del Giocondo, a wealthy silk merchant. To mark the celebration of his success and the birth of their child, Francesco decided to commission a portrait of his wife, a gift, perhaps of love and legacy. He chose the greatest artist of their time, Leonardo da Vinci. But Leonardo wasn't the kind of painter who simply captured appearances. He observed, studied, and interpreted the human soul. When Lisa Gherardini sat for him, Leonardo didn't just paint her, he tried to understand her. He watched how her lips curved ever so slightly, how the corners of her eyes lifted with a calm awareness. He even hired musicians to entertain her during the long hours of posing so that her expression would remain gentle and serene. What he was after was not just a woman's image, but the eternal mystery of being human. Leonardo employed a revolutionary painting technique called sfumato, which allowed shadows and light to melt into one another without hard lines. That's why Mona Lisa's smile seems to shift when you look at it from different angles, warm one moment, distant the next. Her expression is both present and elusive, alive yet still. That delicate mystery is exactly what Leonardo wanted. He worked on the painting for years, perhaps obsessively, making small adjustments, layering glazes of paint, studying every detail. And in the end, he never gave it to the man who commissioned it. He kept the painting with him for the rest of his life. No one knows exactly why Leonardo never gave the painting to Francesco del Giocondo. Some believe he wasn't fully paid. Others suggest he grew too attached to it. Some even think he saw it as a masterpiece, always in progress, never quite finished. When Leonardo moved to France later in life, under the patronage of King Francis I, he brought the portrait with him. After his death in 1519, the painting likely passed to the French king, becoming part of the royal collection. This fact contradicts what many later believed, that the French had stolen it. In truth, it was inherited, or purchased, not looted. Later, modern technology like infrared scans would reveal secrets hidden beneath her surface, subtle changes, erased outlines, and even faint traces of eyebrows now lost to time. These studies show that Leonardo constantly revised his work, chasing an elusive perfection. Her pose was also revolutionary. At a time when portraits often showed women stiff and profile-facing, Mona Lisa sat turned slightly toward the viewer, hand resting calmly, gaze direct yet soft. Behind her, a surreal, almost dreamlike landscape winds into misty mountains, a symbol, perhaps, of the unknowable human mind. Interestingly, the two halves of the background don't quite match, enhancing her mystery. When Leonardo's portrait reached the Louvre Museum in Paris centuries later, it quietly hung among many others. It was admired, even respected, but not yet the global icon we know today. That would all change because of a daring crime that turned a painting into a legend. On a quiet August morning in 1911, the unthinkable happened. Mona Lisa vanished from the Louvre. The man who took her was Vincenzo Peruggia, an Italian nationalist who believed the painting had been wrongfully taken from Italy and should be returned. Dressed in a white smock like the museum workers, he hid inside the museum overnight and walked out with the painting tucked under his coat. The world was stunned. Newspapers printed her empty frame. People lined up to stare at the bare wall where she had once hung. It wasn't just a theft, it was a cultural shock. For 2 years, she was missing. When she was finally recovered in Florence in 1913, she returned to the Louvre more famous than ever before. The theft made headlines across continents, but it wasn't just the crime that made her famous. After her return, the Louvre leaned into a growing myth. placing her at the center of promotional materials and exhibitions. From then on, she wasn't just a Renaissance painting, she became a cultural event. From that moment on, Mona Lisa became something more than art. She became a global phenomenon. Celebrities posed with her. Artists recreated her. She appeared in films, cartoons, songs, and advertisements. But through all of it, her face remained the same: quiet, calm, unbothered, eternal. People began to wonder endlessly about her. Was she really Lisa Gherardini? Was she Leonardo's mother, painted from memory? Was she even a woman at Aller Leonardo himself in disguise? Theories swirled around her like mist, and yet the painting never changed. Some neuroscientific studies even tried to decode her smile. Researchers found that depending on where you focus your eyes, Mona Lisa's expression may seem to change: happy, sad, or neutral, because of how the human brain interprets light, shadow, and facial cues. Today, she hangs behind bulletproof glass in the Louvre, protected like a jewel, visited by millions each year. Cameras flash, crowds gather, and still, she smiles. Not wide, not showy, but just enough to leave us wondering what she's thinking. That's the magic. The genius of Leonardo wasn't in making her beautiful, it was in making her feel alive. So who is the Mona Lisa? She is Lisa Gherardini, yes, but she is also the embodiment of mystery, of timelessness, of something human and unknowable. In a world that rushes to define everything, she remains gloriously undefined. A smile that never fades, a gaze that never blinks, and a story that, after 5 centuries, is still being written. So next time you see her online, in a book, or standing before her in the Louvre, don't just glance. Look closely, look long, and ask yourself, what secrets does she carry? And why does she smile as if she knows yours?